Good to go.
Perfect. All right, well, I'm Alek Dincoff. For those of you that are tuning in, we're going live on social media, and that's Facebook currently. So, Steve, take it away. Introduce yourself. Who are you? In case there's people on your platform that are watching you.
Sure. Thanks, Alex. So, yes, Steve Todd. I'm the founder of Open Source Workplace. And what we do here each Monday, this is the second week, and so we sort of do a review of what's going on with Open Source Workplace, what's kind of my thinking, what sort of tactics am I trying, what am I learning, what am I doing, and sort of this is Alek interviewing me rather than me trying to make stuff up. He gives direction and insights and sort of probes away so that this makes this an interesting conversation. So hopefully people can hear you, Alek, as you ask questions, and hopefully the questions are insightful and the answers are as insightful as your questions as we go through.
Well, worst case, go ahead, just in case for some reason people watching live right now, if they can't hear me, let them know that this will be on your website here within probably the next week, and they can catch anything they missed.
Sure, that's great. Yeah, great point. So this is said, everything's going live on Instagram and Facebook right now, but we will be posting this live on Open Source Workplace, and the video actual recording of Alek and myself.
All right, well, let's dive into it. So this is now technically week 2 of probing away, seeing what's going on, what your plans and tactics are. You said it very well just a second ago. So let's start with, did anything drastically new happen this week? Anything that stands out that you want to cover real quick?
So this week kind of been interesting in a sense of there's been a few things that I've done that may be really insignificant for other people, but actually were quite insightful for myself. One is so I'm not a technical developer at all, and I was able to put Facebook Pixel on my website. So basically it allows Facebook to track who's coming to my site and actually then go and mirror those folks and market my website to those people who actually like and watch my content. So as I said, I'm not a very tech savvy person. So to actually go and do that was, one, quite intimidating, but actually two, was quite good because it kind of worked. So I'm really interested to see the analytics. Some of the information that actually comes out of the analytic tools is fascinating. You know, you think you know what your audience is, so you think you know what they want, you think you know who they are, but it's just frightening actually how little you know. But it's really, really insightful.
Great. Yeah. I have a little bit of background knowledge on Facebook Pixel. What I dealt with previously was more selling online. So we look more at the conversion ratio, actually purchasing, whereas you're looking more toward views and website visits, correct?
Correct. At the moment.
Okay. At the moment, sure, of course.
Yeah.
And when did your Facebook Pixel then go online? Because it takes a while to capture all of it.
Today? It went live today. Yeah. So I've been trying to play with this stuff, and I chat with them last week, and then I literally did it this morning. And it's who knows what the results will be? Who knows how it'll play out? But give it a week or two, and hopefully see what happens.
Sure. So that brings me to a huge amount of questions just involving Facebook. What's your, I guess, marketing strategy? What kind of ads are you shooting out on Facebook to try and draw that attention in? Especially since you're going live on Facebook right now, that's another way that you're drawing attention back to Open Source Workplace.
Yeah, no, and as I said, I mean, as you know, right, so my site today is currently, it's a beta. It's really there for me to play, turn things on, turn things off, what works, what doesn't work. So at the moment, I'm prepared to try anything and everything. So I've tried different strategies, different images, different, even tried a video, as we talked about last week, a little video introduction to an article. How does that play? And it's just interesting just to see the different dynamics. But veritably, I just try anything and everything. It could be just a picture. It could be a picture with words. It could be, just, hashtag and whatever, and seeing what actually happens, targeting different groups, making comments in groups and connecting that way, and sort of trying to pull people back to my site. But but Facebook's a big one. The probably the biggest player for me is LinkedIn. My LinkedIn network is a little under 12,000. So I have a lot of people who are connected, a lot of supporters on there. So my content gets shared quite a bit, gets a lot of views. So that LinkedIn's my main one, but more because Facebook is a little bit cheaper, so you can try different things. And when I say cheaper, is like the impressions are just cheaper. So it's worth, $20-$30 to try different aspects and different angles. Is worth the investment for me. Some of the things that I've really seen that's really kind of surprised me is so obviously the whole genre is around workplace, it's around facility management, human resources, technology, all aspects of the workplace. And as I've tried and tested different things, the CPMs and even the Google AdWords and the Google advertisements, it's the rates across different countries is quite surprising to me. The US is high as you would expect. The next highest location I'm seeing is actually India, which really, really surprises me. The UK, and it could well just be the audience segment that I'm looking at. Who knows? But that really surprised me. The UK and Australia were like next to nothing, where India was relatively high, and I was shocked.
Wow, yeah. I wouldn't have expected that. Okay, yeah. Okay. Well, hey, that's why you're there. You're learning.
Yeah,
that's the point.
Absolutely.
Well, that'll be interesting because if it went live today, then within the next week, 2 weeks, and down the line, this is a topic that we can continuously revisit about. Yeah. Are you just one single picture? Is there a lot of wording on it? Because I know sometimes, if not Facebook, Instagram, they'll flag certain pictures that have too many words, right? I can't remember which is which or if both are consistent, but they also say that sometimes video marketing gets more views or gets more pull. It'll be interesting to get your feedback and see exactly who from where is responding to what. Okay, great. So if you're playing around on Facebook, I don't want to say playing around like you don't know what you're doing, but you're trying different things. There we go. That's what I should say. What are you currently doing then on LinkedIn? Obviously, when you broadcast to your 12,000 plus network, anything that you broadcast to your page or your personal LinkedIn, they're going to see it. But what kind of, marketing strategy, if any, are you using on LinkedIn?
I'm not doing anything. I'm simply, honestly, I'm posting. I have on LinkedIn, I have my own personal page. I have a company page for open source workplace company page. And then I have an open source workplace service provider community. So basically service providers, basically those who provide services to the workplace community. I have a network for those guys. And it's a relatively small network. There's probably a little under 50 people there. And that's more because those are the people who I know, who I trust, and who I want to bring along to the journey. So I really don't use that much of a strategy. What I do enjoy on LinkedIn, though, is reading other people's content. I do enjoy making comments and interacting there. And I think it's a lot easier on LinkedIn given the topic and what I'm doing. I do think that sometimes Facebook is a little more challenging just because I think people are there for different reasons. I think when people are on LinkedIn, they're there for business reasons. They're there to connect. They're there to meet people, like-minded people. So I think it's the conversations almost started. Twitter, I'm finding people want to have conversations, but they actually don't really want to have conversations about what they do, in a sense. I almost feel like those people who I know who are very deep in the workplace go to Twitter just to talk about general stuff. I went through this, I did this today, I did that today, and it's a very different type of feel. So it's interesting to see those different aspects.
Okay, so sometimes a Twitter, maybe an Instagram or a Facebook or something something more social. It's almost, I go there to not be at work, right? I'm here because I don't want to be at work, in case you're at the office doing Facebook or Instagram instead of whatever task. But LinkedIn, like you said, is very much content-driven, article-based. knowledge to help promote business. So, okay, it makes sense to me. Um, I do have a question. I am on Open Sourced Workplace right now.
Yeah.
Got it up here in front of me. The logo, the icon here. Where did it come from? Talk to me a little bit. That's the first thing that pops up.
I'm glad you asked. So, one of the things that sort of really surprised me, and I think it's with the shared economy, with the way the technology is moving and so on and so forth, it's really easy to get access to really good talent. We talked last week about how I've got introduced to you, how we met, and how we're forming our relationship. Well, to do the logo was something similar. I went to 99designs.com. I put out the idea of I want to create a logo for Open Source Workplace. And I must have had, I think, maybe 30 designers who are actually bidding and actually trying to create actual design for me. And, they would send me something and then you're able to comment. So everyone gets to see that process. Everyone gets to see what your mind is, what your vision is. I didn't know what I was looking for. There's a lady in Portugal. She was a student, and I had no idea this at the time, because you just work through a username and so on and so forth. So, in essence, for $200, I got that whole brand designed, and I thought it was fantastic. And most people actually, whenever they're making a compliment or making a comment about Open Source Workplace, it's the brand that they actually really, really like. So yeah, no, I'm very, very pleased with that. I've actually engaged with the same graphic designer to put together the front of podcasts and also this video. So in essence,
Okay.
what I'll be doing is, I made an arrangement with her where basically she'll create a template where it'll be, Open Source Workplace, and then an image of whoever it is I'm talking to or talking with. If it's the two of us, then it may be a different image to me, talking with, where I'm letting an organization or a service provider or a company present whatever it is they want to. So she'll play around with that. But again, it's as I said, I'm just fascinated by how easy it is to get access to really good talent these days. You have to be patient, and you have to really sift through, know what you're looking for. Whenever you find those people that you just think will work with you, personality wise, work wise, skills wise. You just got to do all you can to sort of hang on to those folks. I look at my writers. I try to give the writers as much time as I can. Basically, I try to let them, I give them a title or a flavor of a title, and sort of where my head is thinking, or things are almost conversations that I hear going on in my workplace or in the industry. And I sort of pose questions, ideas, concepts, and then let that ferment in their head, and then they basically go away and they come back and they create the content. Some of the people that I have, they're fantastic. They really are. There's one kid who's been right with me from the start, and she's brilliant. I really love her, just the way she writes and how she pulls it all together. But then I find somebody else who's a researcher in New Zealand. She's provided a really good article on diversity, fantastically written. And then she provided me with an article that's going to go live tomorrow of a concept about workplace that I'd never heard of before. And it's called workplace spirituality. I won't go into too much in this on the video, but it'll obviously be on the site, and people can sort of have a think and have a thought and a read of it. But it was just a concept I'd never heard of. But this is the beautiful thing about whenever you allow people to be creative and do what they think, what they want to do. And it's just, I was really blown away. And but the point of it all is, whenever you find good people, do all you can to engage with them. And that's sort of been what I'm trying to do. We'll see how, if it works or if it doesn't work. You'll be the proof of the pudding, Alec. No pressure.
Me? Oh no, pressure's on. Pressure's on. But that sounds really exciting. Plus, by the time this video actually airs, it'll already be up. So if you're watching in the past, then check out the article. If you're already excited, then I'm pretty sure it's worth a read.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's really good. And the other thing that gets me really excited, so you're looking at the site there, and you see the top first article. There's the glossary, and I was actually, again, these are just like, you watch the world, And whenever you kind of know the journey you're on and what you're trying to do, whenever you watch the world, things you see and you can correlate them to what actually you're trying to do. So I actually was chatting with somebody who said, you know, they were trying to create SEO content, and the only way they could do it was a glossary. They found that was easier to do than actually go and write big, long content. And I thought, okay, that's clever. So I took the idea, took the concept, and then I basically have applied, okay, let me take the terms and definitions of what are, you know, what is actually the term, and then let me go and find various definitions of that term within the industry. And what that allows me to do then is actually pull from really good resources. I'm not trying to stir things up by putting my own, definition out there, but actually I'm leveraging what, you know, respected resources in the workplace are actually providing.
Sure, sure. Very good, very good. Yeah, well, as soon as you go to your website, glossary stands out. Obviously, you've got your beautiful logo. And this catches my eye every time I show up. At the very top, trending. You've got like the news update, and right now it says 2018 global. Oh no, it's cycling through everything. That's perfect. So you're catching interest. Something might pique your curiosity, and you're off you go into the website. It's fantastic. What? Because sometimes with now I know you work with NASDAQ, right? So if you're ever watching stocks, there's always ups, downs, and all sorts of things are moving through, and they're constantly cycling. What is that kind of the inspiration, or why did you put this at the very top of the page? Because most articles, common sites, most people know what a BuzzFeed is, right? They have all their extra links down toward the bottom, and you have something similar. But right there at the top, it instantly grabs you and pulls you in. What's the background for that?
No, and to be fair, I wish I could take credit, but I can't. And there's very little in my site you can say that I can take credit, because, you know, there's very, very little original ideas in the world. And this was my developers' ideas. So I've used a company to design my beta site. They're twodesignnerds.com. They are living in Oregon, in India, whatever that means. You know, but apparently they're in Oregon, but I suspect that they're probably in India. But it was those are the guys who put the idea together, and they suggested it, and I went, okay, let's see. Again, this is a beta site, right? So what works, what doesn't work.
Of course,
I'm happy either way. All I want to do is make sure that I'm testing different things all the time, and take it from there.
Yeah, well, I like it. It's eye-catching. Whether it'll be good or not, time will tell. So we've kind of covered if anything new happened this week. We jumped into the site just a little bit. We talked about.
So I mean, on the site, what I've actually done, you may not have noticed, if you go to the photos page. So I haven't got a lot of advertising on the site, and it's been intentional. So as I think about the actual real site, so to speak, going live, which I find out will probably be December when that goes live. So I thought, let me try and push what does the audience want in terms of will they accept, or what will they accept in terms of advertising. So you go on the photos page, and you'll see across the top, you'll see there's things there for like electronics. There's things. Well, they're all Amazon links, but they're really, you wouldn't know that they're there. So the whole point of it is, well, if someone clicks on that, then they can go through and actually have a look at the Amazon and, you know, the shop, and it's all about me trying to capture something that way. And then down below the images, I have a few little shopping things where people can actually get, you know, things that people, you know, who are looking at the site may be interested in: height adjustable desks, circadian lighting, and some sort of earpods. Which may help them.
Sure. Well, and I'm sure you've done your due diligence and you found good quality, maybe not top of the line, depending on everyone's budget, but it works. It gets the job done, and you'll be happy with it. So that's good that you're helping people out, make things go a lot smoother. And then with all your content and articles, if something ever happens where you're doing like an article on should people use earbuds in the workplace, drop a link in, and if the answer is yes, or even if it's no, you can always say, hey, by the way, these are the earbuds that are going to be best for office environment or something along
Yeah.
those lines. That's
No, no. I
interesting.
mean, it's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, who knows? Who knows how this works out? Who knows what'll work? But I'm
Of course.
willing to give it a go.
Hmm. December, you said. Launch date, tentative launch date.
Yeah, no, it is. So I basically just nailed down the scope of this phase. So I mean, I could go and take what's currently there today. So what the beta site is, and I can probably launch the new site with the same work, same environment. I can probably launch that today. But I elected not to. I elected to sort of wait and actually, when the new site goes, whenever people come to it, they don't just see it's just the same stuff. It is actually a more enhanced version of what's there. It also gives me an opportunity to let the developers play with that, fix that, do that, while I then play with other things like, okay, so how's content going to play? How are people going to receive this? What we're trying to do, how will people receive different videos that I'm looking to put out with other people? How will they react to podcasts? How will they react to a bunch of different things? So we'll see how it plays out.
Sure,
and the
something.
and the glossary thing, like, so that's something I'm going to release every day. So a brand new one of them goes out every day. So that's going to be something that I'm hoping we'll be able to capture the SEO as well. So
That's good. That's good. It just surprises me you elected for December of all times, because that's for some that you've got some holiday cheer coming in.
yeah, yeah,
Now you're in East Coast, so you're going to get some snow, which is going
yeah.
to make travel, everything starts getting more frustrating.
No, it does, and it's one of those things where everyone says, when's the best time to launch? Well, you launch when you're ready, irrespective of what day it is. I launched the site on July 13th. I didn't really think about what date it was. It just happened to be it was Friday, July 13th, which is kind of ironic. So you go live when it's ready, right? And I'm saying December, and if it's December, it's January. I've no worries about it. I have your hesitation as well. I thought about that also. Do I really want to go live with something in December, because everyone that you're trying to get on board has zero enthusiasm for doing this, because they've all got their holiday parties, they're trying to close out the books, they're probably all working a ton to get all the projects finished before the end of the year. Do they really want to spend the time talking about something like this? Probably not. But it gives me an opportunity to get a few people on board, get their opinions, get their feedback, let it play, let it go live over the holiday period. Probably gives me a time to take a breath over that time too. So then that allows us to sort of play through and actually get ready for the new year. So I mean, so I'm actually, it's kind of interesting whenever you asked me at the start, is there anything that I've sort of been doing this week? And it's so I didn't mention the fact that I've locked in the sort of phase 2 scope, which is kind of a big deal. And I started engaging with people about, okay, so how do we start structuring? How do we start thinking about actually the selling? How do we actually package the sales pitch? How do we package and start putting together? How do we take this to market, right? And those are sort of the things that started those kicking off those conversations this week too. So even though there's like this, you asked me one thing and it's like I said something that was probably quite small and insignificant, but actually there's some big stuff that's kind of going on, which is funny.
Well, if you've got the big stuff in the background and you don't want to jump too far ahead of yourself,
Yeah.
but we've covered articles, information coming. We've covered what's going to be happening to your site, what you're doing on the marketing aspect of Facebook. Do you have any other sneak peek surprises that you're holding back that you want to kind of glimpse in there, but not really go all the way? Well, might as well get them all out of the way now.
No, I mean, it's no, I hear you, and I appreciate you asking the question, but I mean, really what I'm trying to do, right? I'm trying to solve problems for people who do what I do, which is where they're within an organization, they're responsible for workplace productivity, employee experience, and how do I provide them with the tools to make their job easier. On the other side, I have the service providers. How do I provide a service to those folks allowing them to engage with the right people at the right time in a way that makes everyone feel very comfortable, that they're doing the right thing, and basically everyone benefits, right? So it's how do I be of service to both sides, and with that, and how do you gauge that, how do you manage that, how do you put all that together? I've been watching a lot of YouTube on marketplace startups. So how do they put together, how you have, Thumbtack, how did they manage it? How did they go about getting one side or the other?
Mm-hmm.
I was watching one on, it was a Postmates this morning as well. How did they do it? How did they
Sure.
gather their population? And it's fascinating when you hear the little stories, little nuances that each tactic and each of their tactics they've actually used to actually engage and start building their business. Postmates, for example, they used to have people walk into the shop and buy products and then take it to people's homes. That's how they started. And then they started, so it was the same person get into the store multiple times a day, or get into a restaurant multiple times a day. But then they went in and then they start wearing their t-shirts that said Postmates. And obviously they build up relationships with the individual shop owner or retailer. And then eventually the retailer goes, well, who are you? What do you do? And then whenever they're able to tell them, then they were able to introduce the concept. And obviously then they see what they're going to do. So it's a fascinating story.
And it's very smart to they pique the interest first,
Yeah.
rather than saying, hey, have we got a great idea for you? When
Right.
somebody says, when they propose the question, they want to know. They're open to hearing. So
Yeah.
that's really good. It'll be interesting to see how you find your own kind of way of doing things in this, with what your vision is.
No, and that's half the reason why I want to do these videos, right? Because I don't have a clue, right? I have no idea what's going to work. And part of it is to have it documented, right? And part of it is so I can look back years from now and go, you were such an idiot, or you're really clever. Who knows? We'll see. But I know it's probably the former rather than the latter. But in essence, I'm prepared to sort of put it out there, and I'm prepared to. Sorry, my computer just went here. Yeah, I'm prepared to try and do those different things and see what happens. I have no issues with that. So yeah, we'll see. Should be interesting.
Well, they say that the people that we're talking, multi-million-dollar CEO company types, they fail. Most people fail 1-2 times. Now that probably won't be the case here, but there's always setbacks, and you just keep going. If we find what works, you say, "Wow, yeah, that was a dumb mistake," and then you find that one portion that was genius. You were ahead of the curve. You look back at this video and say, "Man, that guy's smart," and you're talking about yourself.
I don't. I mean, I don't think I'm that. I think I'm probably stupid in a sense for even trying it. Right. Let's be honest, right? I mean, I have a really good job. I'm very fortunate, and I work with really good people and a really good company. But I just have a passion for doing this thing, and I feel I just have to do it. And if I didn't, one day I'll look back and I'll go, why didn't I even try it? So part of it is like, okay, well, let's document that stupid journey, and who knows, maybe you learn something, maybe other people can learn something, maybe other people can, benefit from it. As long as I'm not stupid about the financial side of it and everything else is within reason and I kind of understand what's going on and I can manage those things, I'm prepared to take the risk to see what happens. And the way I'm coming at it in so many different ways where it's not just one single product I'm coming with, a whole bunch of different things. And again, I also believe as well, whenever people get to see the spirit with which I'm trying to do everything, that sort of buys me a little bit more as well. But, who knows? Who knows? I'm sure someone smarter, brighter will come up with a shinier toy that does everything that I'm going to try and do. And that's okay. That's okay. It's, again, the whole objective is to, maximize workplace productivity and employee experience for everyone, no matter who they work for or where they're from. That's the whole point of it. And if this journey helps promote and do those things, then that's okay.
Perfect. That's well said. It's your heart, your mindset. It's in a great spot, and you got to remember, even you can't tell the future, obviously. I can hear that in your voice almost. But there's always competition, right? So
Yep.
there's a few people out there that make jelly. There's a few different people out there that make peanut butter. Even if yours isn't the shiniest and newest, it can still be the best or have the best message, just like you're talking about. So.
Yeah. Look, it's who knows, right? But I'm gonna enjoy doing it. I certainly am enjoying doing it. And that's the whole point of having these things documented. So we'll look back one day and we'll go, "Whoa, my goodness, what an idiot you were!" Or like to your point, it's we all look back and we all go, "Man, we were really really clever." I don't think we, but anyway, we're gonna have some fun doing it anyway.
Hey, isn't that half the battle?
Of course it is. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Right.
I get up every morning. It's like. I go to bed at 4 o'clock in the morning and I bounce out of bed and I get up, I get my coffee and I just go and I almost, I have to get up and go to my regular job, but it's like, oh, why do I have to do that? Why can't I just keep going with this? That's just how much I feel for this, And on the weekends, I have to drag myself away from my computer and what I'm doing just to get away from it, just to give my head a break, But I just can't help it. I love it,
What's the hardest part? Just pulling yourself away and actually doing it? Or is it having to?
No, it's pulling myself away from it because I enjoy doing it so much.
Okay.
And it's making sure I have time away to let my brain relax, let my brain think of different things. It's not a stress thing; it's an energy thing. I just have so much energy for this for what I'm doing. I just can't stop. I just can't. And I get to know my body well in a sense that I know, okay, no, I'm done. I'm done today. I'm good now. I can go do this. I can go do that. But I have to schedule stuff to get me away so that I don't sit there all day and do it. I have no issue doing that. I don't, and I'll do it until I'm okay, until I know I'm good and fried for the day. But the next day, then I'm up and I'm at it again.
Sure. Do you have any special recoup strategy? Some people are, if they can get a sauna or a hot bath.
No. So it's so funny. I'm kind of smiling a little bit. So how do I recuperate? So I have this Brain FM. I don't know if you heard of Brain FM. Brain FM is a brilliant app. It's one of the best apps I've ever come across. And within there are, and basically what it is, you play noise through your headphones. And within that, there's a meditation, there's a relax option for 30 minutes. They basically put you in, and they play music, but there's an undertone and a wave with the music that's played. That actually changes the whole mind and how the body is. I can put this on in 30 minutes, and within 5 minutes of putting it on, I will go to a deep sleep for 20 minutes, and then the music comes back. It actually wakes you up gradually. So after 30 minutes, you're really refreshed. The app also has a focus part, and whenever I put that on and I put on my headphones, my work levels just go from here to here, just because the same technology, the same brainwave, whatever it does, it just does something that stimulates my brain, and I go crazy for it. It's awesome. I was with some folks in Charlotte a couple of weeks ago. I told them about it. And they've now told me that actually in their office, they do a 1 hour focus session, the whole entire office each day with this app. They also take turns doing 30-minute relax sessions, the whole office, using the app. They said they're killing it. It's absolutely fantastic how it's working for them, So that's one thing. Yeah. So brain.fm it is. It's just an app on the iPhone.
That mentality strikes me almost. It shudders me to the core because I've worked with some companies, corporations, bosses, management that having a half an hour, 60-minute downtime. It's not downtime. It's recharging, but they would see it as downtime, a waste of time, and it would never fly. Yeah. But it sounds like productivity spikes. So why wouldn't you do it? That's awesome.
No, I said you got to tell people about this. You got to tell people what you're doing. You got to tell people what your company's doing, because other people need to know about that. You know, these are the things there are within the industry. There's so many people who know tips, tools, and tricks that if we can share and everybody can see them and everyone understands the benefit of it, then the benefit is for everybody. So I shot him a note when he told me. I said, you got to tell people, you got to tell people, you got to tell people. Post something on LinkedIn, tell people what you're doing. So I hope, but I'm also fortunate. I have a sauna at home, so I go in there and I have an infrared sauna. So I go into that, and I love that. But when I'm in there, I find it hard to switch off from social media. So I have to be disciplined when I'm in there. But I also do cold baths and cold showers.
I've heard that's supposed to. I've tried it. I try to do a week of just pure cold showering, and it's just not my favorite. Speeds you up though, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. So what I do is I get into the shower warm, and then I finish with the cold. And the most difficult thing, it's a mental thing, is turning off the hot water and putting on the cold water. That is the hardest thing. That's the hardest moment of my day, every day. The battle you've got to go through because you know what's coming and you're in a nice warm shower, and to go and do that. But again, you know, last week we touched on the point of talking about fear, right? How do you go? And I told you how private I am, right? Which is really just the complete opposite of what we're doing right now. And that one little thing of going and putting on that cold water was a little trigger to doing the next thing, to doing the next thing, to doing the next thing. And that's where it all started for me, right? So it's really interesting. So those are the sort of key things that I do. And exercise is a big thing. And then getting out of the house and just going for walks and just getting air.
Perfect. I know Tony Robbins, a lot of people like him. He's a motivational person. He's done some financial training as well. If you don't know who Tony Robbins is, he's got a very distinctive voice. Once you know his voice, you'll never not hear his voice.
Yep.
And he did some sort of a seminar wherever he lives, and he was showing off what his routine kind of is. And he does a cold water plunge. And it's I think he talks about to a similar effect of what you went into with turning the cold water on, because you know what's coming. Yeah. But it re-energizes you and reinvigorates you, and he's very much into almost the meditation aspect as well. Yeah. But for those of us who don't have a sauna at home, like myself, Brain FM is the takeaway from this.
It is, absolutely. Absolutely. It is the best. It is.
We can talk forever about your mindset, goals, certain things. You said you're a very private person, and I'm going to slowly chip away at that wall.
Yeah, so, that's good.
So there's plenty of things to get into, but we can't cover it all in one session. So share with your friends if you're watching this. If you watched it live, shoot a little message saying, hey, I was there. And of course, as always, if you have any questions, then shoot it over to opensourceworkplace.com. and we'll get in touch, or you'll get in touch. It will be answered, and I'm sure someone will try to help their best.
Cheers. Thank you, Alek. Appreciate it. Thank you.